All right, so this is the Stokely Stormrider 88. Stokely is known for making the highest of quality skis in the entire world, and the Stormrider series is no different. This is one of those skis that you hear people talking about all the time. Even though Stokely is not known to be an all-mountain ski company, Stormrider is one of my favorite skis in the test this year. And that's just because you can put this thing on edge and turn it the way you want to turn a race ski, or you can take it into the bumps, you can take it into the trees, and it gives you that like free floating feeling without feeling like the thing is beating you up too much. Important to note, really flat through the midsection, not a lot of tip rocker, so overall, it's honestly a pretty surprising ski. The way that this thing holds an edge and feels like it's pushing you into every turn is really pretty incredible. Now, Stokely is expensive. These skis are not cheap and they are not for the lighthearted. This is for somebody who is an enthusiast and they really care about the gear that they're on. Fun fact about Stokely is every piece of metal that is made for every ski is machined individually by hand at their factory. So these skis have no shortage of attention to detail across the board. I think it's really impressive that a company like this can make such high-end quality product, put it out in the world, and still be considered with some of the best brands, biggest brands that are out there today. It's really just a very impressive product coming out of the Stokely factory. I think if you're looking for something sub 90, looking for something that can actually carve a turn in New England, this is a phenomenal option, and I think you'll be surprised at how accessible it is. Even though there's so much metal in this ski, it actually holds nothing back when it comes to putting a ski through the ringer. You can have fun in this thing, on this thing, and go through the bumps. You can go in the woods, you can ski groomers, you can ski soft snow. There's not a lot of limitations when it comes to a Stormrider. Highly recommend, and I'm really, really impressed with it. I will say, I think just because of the price point, it is definitely an older demographic that is on these things. If you can find one on closeout, consider yourself very lucky, but I think it's worth the money. For this expensive of a ski, for me to be saying it's worth the money, I think that is that holds a lot of weight. So as you're considering your all-mountain options for 25-26, consider the Stokely Stormrider 88 because it's a really, really good ski. All right, Stokely Stormrider 95, very similar to what we talked about with the Stokely Stormrider 88. This is an all-mountain ski that really doesn't have a whole lot of limitations. When it comes to Stokely, we always talk about the craftsmanship, the attention to detail, all of the things that really matter when you're spending this much money on a ski. This is like when you go and you buy your first performance vehicle and you're like, wow, everything about this just feels different, and you won't shut up about it to everybody that you know. It's like, look at how cool my car is. Look at the leather seats. Look at the way that it handles, the way that it feels. It's just that intangible thing that you can't always put your finger on. I think Stokely has figured out a way to put that into skis. And honestly, from my perspective, I think that that is because of the attention to detail that they put, cutting each piece of metal specific to each ski, to each length, by hand in their factory, and making a really beautiful ski that looks like it would weigh as much as a house, but actually is fairly lightweight and nimble. It's very agile. I think if you're in that 95 width category, you're looking to just have that ski that you can throw in your truck and not worry about what the conditions are going to be like this day. I think that the 95 is really where most people are going to settle into, because whether you're going on a trip out west, you're here in New England, or you're going abroad, this is an excellent option to feel like you have the right tool for the job at any given moment. I will also mention the fact that this profile is slightly different than the 88, a little bit more rocker in it and a little bit more floaty, because the person typically buying a 95 width ski is looking for versatility. They're looking for that playfulness. They want to be able to smear a turn every once in a while without feeling like they're fully committed and locked in like they're skiing gates. But when it comes down to it and they need to put the hammer down on a groomer, they can do that with a ski like the Stokely Stormrider 95. My least favorite graphic of the line. I think it does look good, it looks clean, but it does scream generational wealth a little bit. And I think that that is the one negative thing that I can say about Stokely. Otherwise, you'd be shocked at how many ripping young skiers are now on Stokely products, and it's because they've made a ski that sits at the top of the class across the board in any given category. In the Stokely Stormrider 95, I just can't see someone getting on this thing and being like, that ski is a piece of garbage. It just isn't gonna happen. It's too nice of a ski. You can definitely say that you're not a Stokely person, but you definitely can't say that you don't like this ski. So 95 underfoot, I think it's a great ski for just about anybody looking for that one ski quiver that is so coveted in the ski industry. I also think that for somebody that is a little bit on the heavier side, maybe a little bit more groomer oriented, you will feel like this just gives you a little bit more edge when it comes to actually putting down a turn the way you want it to. It just feels different than a lot of the other skis that are in this lineup and in this width range. Obviously, 90 to 100 is the most popular range for skis these days. This is one that you can actually feel the difference in and stands alone by itself as a very unique product for somebody that's willing to spend $1,200 to $1,500 on a ski setup. You'll feel like you spent the money in the right place. So, Stokely Stormrider 95. All right, so in the Carvy Boy category, this is the Stokely Montero AS coming in at a 14.6 meter turn radius. It is, as it sounds, turny. This is a great ski with a little bit more progressive style that'll allow you to get through those groomer days and have a really good time. The thing that I like the most about this ski is how much energy it feels like it has. It actually feels like you're getting more out of every turn on the exit than you'd had when you were coming into the turn. And I think that that's a really good talking point when it comes to heavier, more carving oriented skis. This thing feels like it's grounded, but it doesn't feel like you're stuck in every single turn. Definitely the more limited of the options when it comes to the Montero series. It really likes to do one turn shape and one turn shape only, but that one turn shape is really, really pretty. I actually would say for most people, like I'm again 6 foot tall, 215 pounds. For me, a 172 I thought was gonna be really short, but I actually really enjoyed it for those short swing turns on days in New England where you're skiing tighter terrain or there's a bunch of people on the hill. You can feel like you're getting your turns in correctly on this ski. I also really like the graphic update that they did this year. I feel like they just made it a little bit sleeker. It sits, again, similar to like what we talked about with that RC4 Curb GT, sits in a category that's kind of different than a lot of other skis. And for the Stokely customer that's spending $1,200 to $1,500 on a pair of skis, they want something that's unique, that's different. They have an arsenal of skis already, and they're looking to add to it with something that does one thing really, really well. And the Montero AS is really the right tool for the job if you're looking for that quick turning, fast, energetic ski. We've talked all about the way that these skis are made and the metal that goes into them and the craftsmanship, but it really comes through on a ski like this where you feel everything. Because it's a narrower ski, you're gonna feel everything that is in the ski. It is not too heavy, and it is very flat underfoot. There's not a ton of camber in this ski. There is a bit of tip rocker so that you can enter the turn gently, but it really feels like as you're entering your turn, you're just sliding in there. Even though you can be at a super aggressive edge angle on this thing, you still feel like the ski is locked in, but not forcing you all the way through. Overall, I think this is a great ski for somebody looking to add to a quiver. I don't necessarily think it's a perfect ski for somebody who is just looking for that one ski. This is not the right ski for that. But if you're looking for a ski to do a specific job, you're looking for something that's different than every other ski you've experienced, I do think that the AS is a great place to be. And again, quality control, baby. Like, this is a super high quality, fancy, bougie, Gucci, whatever word you want to use. That's probably the right word for this type of ski. I've sold a ton of these things actually, and I've been really, really happy to hear how psyched the person that buys this ski is, but be wary again, it's not for everybody. It's for the right kind of consumer. And if you're that person, let me know in the comments.